it's a joke, but it's a joke like most or all jokes that has an element of truth and relatability. Otherwise, it wouldn't be funny, showing the difference between of reactions or valuations between these shoes, right? So it's kind of the joke is that, all right, on the left you've got the Sketcher that is, the $30 Skechers, and how a lot of people kind of react to that is like, I don't like Skechers, they're lame, they're whatever, however people feel about it. This is not my, area of valuation particularly, but that's kind of the point here, is that some people value some things based on their own preferences for whatever reasons they may have, and that people value things differently. So that being said, the Skechers on the left, the joke obviously is, okay, well, I don't like that. But then the Yeezys, the more expensive shoe, the more kind of pricey shoe, right? Oh, $1,000. It's like, oh, that's cool, that's exciting. That's the desired shoe. Obviously, has a higher demand. Hence, you've got this price here. So if you look at these two shoes, a lot of people want to dismiss in economic people's perception, people's preferences, people's values, and they want to make goods and services and the price of goods and services objective. They want to put on things an objective value. They want to say what a price should be or should not be for items. So very often people are tempted to say, these are the same. You're being tricked to think that these are different, that you're being lied to or extorted or cheated somehow to think that these two things are different from one another. But if we think through, well, what is it that makes it different? Because economically, these are not, to a lot of people, the same good. Now, to me personally, it doesn't make a difference. I don't have a strong preference for either one of these. So to me, this difference is imperceptible or maybe even meaningless. But to a lot of people, they would identify with this, where they would recognize this shoe as having a greater value than this shoe. Now, some people may say, okay, well, this shoe is more valuable because it's a better deal, right? So different people may think different things economically. Now, economics doesn't deny objective reality. It doesn't deny objective truth. What a subjective valuation simply means in economics is that people have wants and needs, that once their basic level wants and needs are satisfied, they will have preferences for the next thing that they want or need, and that their preferences at that point are subjective, where some person may want shoes and some person may want a cell phone. Neither of those wants economically are correct or incorrect. Economics doesn't make an evaluative judgment on a correct or incorrect valuation. It simply says people have different reasons for wanting different things. It doesn't sit around and psychologize about why people want what they want and tell them what they should or shouldn't want. It just recognizes the reality that people want different things for different reasons. So the reason why this is a joke is, if you think about this, what's the difference between these shoes? Is there really a big difference in the labor that went in to provide these, or the products used, or the input costs that were put in to build these shoes? Or is it really simply the consumers of these shoes, tend to want one more than the other? that for whatever reason, effective marketing, that people, people's own preferences, what they like and don't like, that more people have attached a value to this shoe over this one. And so really the value is based on what the consumer wants. The price is based on what the individual or the group wants. So, for example, I could try to make a shoe, and I may succeed in making a shoe, and then I say, okay, $1,000. Let me make my own type of shoe and charge $1,000. Now I'm welcome and free to do that, but until I get at least one other person to agree with me, I do not have a price of $1,000. And so the price is determined on what's available, that's supply, and who wants it. Kind of go along with this, there's a quote here from this economist, and Carl Menger, this is in his Principles of Economics, and he basically says the same thing. He says, the measure of value is entirely subjective in nature. And for this reason, a good can have great value to one economizing individual, little value to another, and no value at all to a third, depending upon the differences in their requirements and the available amounts. So what he's basically saying there is one good can be very valuable to one person, not very valuable to another person, and of no value to a third person. That they all have different value preferences for their own reasons that we don't have to know what they are and why. We just have to recognize they have reasons for it. And that determines the value they place on those items, plus how much they need it or want it and how much is available. Okay, so that's what separates the differences between these things.